It's Canada. The whole thing is that they're nice. But the real point was, it's real close to home. We have a lot in common. And if it can happen there, how soon can it happen here? That's why what's happening right now with author Jordan Peterson of the Daily Wire is actually crazy, because it's happening in Canada, in a system that could easily rear its ugly head here in the US very soon. The Ontario College of Psychologists, which is the regulatory body through which the profession of psychology is licensed, is currently mandating that Peterson subject himself to a literal re-education course in social media communications after a, quote, investigation into his behavior.
I mean, there is a definite assault against the unvaccinated, and you've talked about how even they recommend, you know, perhaps psychiatric medication or something for people that don't want to take a vaccine.
So this has come out recently out of the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario. The college sent out a letter or a memo to all the doctors in Ontario suggesting to them, now so far they're not mandating it, they're just suggesting it, that any of their unvaccinated patients, that they should consider that they have a mental problem and that they should be put on psychiatric medication. So far, it's just a suggestion, but the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario should not be making these kinds of suggestions. This is extremely unethical, and this is a very, very slippery slope. If they're suggesting that people who wish to have bodily autonomy and don't want an experimental vaccine, that there may be something mentally wrong with them, that is a very, very dangerous, slippery slope that we're on.
First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act.
We're entering the third week of illegal blockades that have been disrupting the lives of too many Canadians. Here in our capital city, families and small businesses have been enduring illegal obstruction of their neighbourhoods, occupying streets, harassing people, breaking the law. This is not a peaceful protest. The federal government has invoked the Emergencies Act to supplement provincial and territorial capacity to address the blockades and occupations.
In the immediate days and weeks after the end of the demonstrations, what was your experiences with horns?
Very much like that I kept hearing them like phantom horns. I kept hearing them in my head. I also had phantom smells too.
And by phantom smells or horns, I mean they're not there, but that's what
they're not there.
So we have to be responsible, follow the law, but at the same time, those individuals who come here to protest, it's gone well beyond a protest. They're encamping, they're having barbecues, they're bringing roast pigs on a spit. As I said, bringing in bouncy castles, bouncy castles, bouncy castles, bouncy castles.